This is the hallway outside of my studio. This first group of pieces is my girls series. It's collage with the wire sculpture figures mounted on top. These pieces I had a little trouble getting the wire to show up because the background is so busy. I really like the collage aspect, but the wire gets a little lost in there. That one pretty much shows up the best. Then this is an older piece. I'm going to step back so you can kind of see it better. It's a fertility goddess. It's it's mixed media, but primarily chicken wire. This is called Survival. It's a abstracted painting in the background, and then the grouping of the wire figures around the fire barrel pit. You can see a little bit of shadow in that, which helps get the wire across. This piece is called Melting Pot, and I'm going to get close to it so you can see that, yes, that's in fact wire mounted onto a painted canvas background. And this piece here is I really enjoyed doing. It was for a theme show on television, and I chose the program or the series Breaking Bad. And it showed the two sides of Walter White, the good side of Walter White, and the bad side when he was Heisenberg. And his faces are all wire. You can kind of see some shadow in there. I really had fun with this piece. I'm going to get it shown more, since it was only shown for a few weeks at the group show at Mize Gallery. This one is very vertical. You can't really see it here. I'll step back. This is one of the first ones I did with the abstracted architecture. And then these figures are wire, painted wire. And it's called Portal because people are heading into the unknown there a little bit. Okay, heading into my studio. I have some older work up on the wall. Pretty much, that one's fairly new. That's a self-portrait, hard to see, a little bit busy with the, but it's again wire on canvas. That one's fairly new. Then down here, this, I can't lift it up because the wire is not attached yet. This is a new piece I'm doing, focusing on endangered species. So I'm going to try to get some close-ups here. It's the background is painted with texture, and then I went back over with pastel drawing. And then each animal is wire. And at this point, the I debated whether to paint the wire or leave it looking like wire. But what I've done is sprayed most of them with a matte finish. So I took away the shininess, which I like much better, and I think I'm going to leave it that way. I have a couple of natural elements in there I have, which aren't attached yet. The actual twigs that the orangutan is swinging from. And then I have a twig under the bird. The bird I didn't spray with the matte finish, and I'm not sure if I want to. And as well as that one penguin and the sea lion I didn't spray yet. But otherwise, this piece is pretty close to completion. And then we move on, piece number 2. This one has a ways to go, but the basic background, again, I can't pick it up because it's got wire figures on there, just resting there. Abstracted, intended to be like city buildings. And then this is called Faces in the Crowd, and it's a concept I came up with a while ago before coronavirus, but I added somebody with a mask, and I might add more. I just painted some of the figures the dark gray so they'd show up, give it some contrast, and I'm going to do the same with the ones that you see that are still silver. I'm going to paint them all gray, and I have to add more in the front, in the foreground. Of course, they'll be a little bigger to show, some perspective. And then I also was thinking of, I'm going to draw in back of them a little bit with the pastel to indicate maybe some head shapes to fill in, and top of the body like shoulder. Very loose shapes. In fact, I could probably get my sketchbook out. This is a color swatch book that I use to figure out what colors I'm doing, my spray paint thing. I also use a lot of images I find. I just Google if I need a picture of a certain face, like a guy smoking a cigarette, I'll go and I'll Google it. So I find images to work from, reference material to work from. All right, let's get the sketch it out here. You can see kind of see where I'm going with this. All right, here's the sketch. It's not much of a sketch, but anyway, those shapes in the back, the heads and the tops of the bodies, I'm going to add some of that drawn in. So not all of it will be wire, but I like having that overlapping effect on the faces, which I discovered when I did that Breaking Bad piece. So that's where I'm at. And I got a ways to go yet. Here I am going into my studio on April 6th, 2020. See some of my older pieces on the wall. And my little desk area. And here you can see one of my pieces for the grant program that is complete I think it's complete. Anyway, it's about endangered species. All the little animals on there are wire. And it's attached to a birch board, 30 by 40. The second piece that's just about complete for the grant program is my faces in the crowd. It's acrylic abstract buildings in the background on birch board, and all the little faces are wire sculpture, which I still need to attach to the background. I've also done the shading with pastel. I can go around and you can see kind of the side view. And it's interesting, I came up with this concept before the coronavirus outbreak. And this is based on a scene in a New York City street. And you can see there's a lot of people and a lot of potential for spreading an illness. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with this piece. I haven't attached everything yet, just in case I want to add something, but I think it's pretty well done. And then tools of the trade, color swatches for color mixing, reference materials printed from the computer, my paint mixing area, various paints. I have fallen in love with this golden crackle paste medium, which I've been using on all my new pieces because it just creates this wonderful texture. This is my third piece, just started for the grant. And that's 2 wire figure dancers that I just finished today that will be added along with many others. The concept of this is based on a short video I took when I was in Chicago. There was a blues band on the street corner and people dancing on the sidewalk. And this is my really rough sketch of kind of how it's going to come together. And then I printed stills out from the video so I could see how to create the figures. So I'm working on this now, and I expect it'll be done in a couple of weeks. So again, I have a little, that corner is usually where I do a little photography. I still have to take pictures of my completed pieces, which can be quite difficult because of the wire tends to look like line drawing when I photograph it. So I'm going to take it from several viewpoints, try to catch the dimensional aspect of it. So this is it. This is my studio as of April 6, 2020.